What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here, and this is a very special video for you guys. I am so excited for it. This is the official 2023 to 2024 Miami Heat season preview. The season starts in 2 days now, as I'm recording this video, and I am so excited for the season to start back up, man. NBA basketball is back, and yeah, we're here with the official Miami Heat season preview. Again, very excited for this video. Before we get right into it, I do have some reminders for you guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on post notifications, join the Discord in the description. I do want to do like some type of like in-game Discord chat thing where, you know, during the games you guys can jump into the voice chat and just interact with each other, talk about the game, how's it going. Q&A episode. Again, drop your questions in the comments below, and comment down below your Miami Heat season predictions for this upcoming season. Now, I do have a slide with predictions down, I think the last slide, so all those predictions will be there. Make sure you guys just take all those predictions and just drop your opinions of those predictions down below, so I just can see what you guys are thinking. And then last but not least, I forgot to include this. I did see a couple of comments talking about the background music. I am going to keep this background music. If you guys want me to change it up, if you guys want me to remove it, let me know down below, because I did have somebody, I forgot your name, bro, but shout out to you. He told me that he didn't like it, but then somebody below that said that he did like it. So I just want to get kind of like a gauge of, you know, what people think about the background music. Again, it's not like a huge deal, but I just do want to improve my channel in any way possible. So for you guys, so let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. And let's get right into it. So the Miami Heat final roster for 2023-2024 is this. We have Bam Adebayo, Orlando Robinson, and Thomas Bryant as our centers. Again, this is not my depth chart. I think I pulled this from Yahoo Sports or something like that. Caleb Martin, Cole Swider, Kevin Love are listed at power forward. I think Cole Swider is more of a 3 than a 4. I'd probably switch him and Haywood Highsmith. Drew Smith, Kyle Lowry, RJ Hampton as the point guards, and then Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, Jamal Cain, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jovic. I'd probably put Nikola Jovic at the 4 as well. And then Duncan, Josh Richardson, and Tyler Hero as the shooting guards. Finalized roster was yesterday. You know, they made their final cuts and gave their contracts out, the Heat. So I think they gave Drew Smith a standard. They kept Cain on the 2-way, and they converted Swider's contract into a 2-way as well. Cut Champagnie. Champagnie's no longer on the roster. Shout out to C. I think Champagnie did pretty well, but, you know, best of luck to him, man. He balled out in some of the games. And then Cheikh Diallo, you know, that was pretty obvious. He didn't really get much playing time. He got cut as well. So, yeah, that is the final Heat roster. My thoughts. Listen, again, I think the biggest point that people were making was about Drew Smith. I think somebody was talking about why they did this because of cap reasons, or because they wouldn't have to clear waivers or sign, like something like that, something along those lines. I'm not sure exactly what their logic was with giving Drew Smith the standard, because he clearly didn't deserve the standard. Like, let's be honest, like Jamal Cain outplayed him in every game that he played. But they kept Cain on the 2-way, and they converted Smith into a standard for either money reasons, or if he doesn't play well, they can just replace him and keep Cain on 2-way still. Something along those lines. I think that was the Heat's logic. But yeah, it's whatever. Like a standard and a 2-way, like cool. Like I don't think Drew Smith is going to be anything special. So if he doesn't play well, you can just cut him and just sign somebody else on that standard spot, I guess. I guess that's what they were thinking, and they could just develop Cain in the G League because they see something in him. I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to talk about Drew Smith every video. I think it's kind of getting tiring. But I know a lot of people are upset about this. I just want to say, I just think Spo sees him as a steady point guard. I've said this for like a lot of videos in a row now. He's steady, and he doesn't commit a lot of mistakes, and he can run an offense. So that's really the only thing he can do. He's kind of a pesky defender, but apart from that, like, doesn't really have any like offensive skill or anything like that. He's just a steady point guard. I don't really see much upside in him, but I hope he plays well, and I hope he proves all of us wrong, because we didn't really see anything from him in preseason. So that's Drew Smith aside. RJ Hampton also got a 2-way deal. I'm really happy that he stayed on the roster. I think he has a lot of potential, and I do like his game a lot. I do see something in him that I think could be something nice for us, man, in the future. I do like RJ Hampton's game a lot. The rest of the roster is pretty standard. It's pretty standard. You know, not much to say. Cole Swider did think he deserved the standard. I mean, the two-way contract as well. I thought he played really, really well in the preseason games that we played in. And yeah, you know, rest of the roster is pretty much intact. It's a good team. Just looking at it right now, center depth I think is pretty nice. I think, you know, forward depth is also pretty nice. I think the guard depth is the only questionable thing. Maybe like specifically point guard depth. You know, you got to say with Lowry is the only, you know, point guard, and Drew and RJ not really being that experienced. But I think they do have plans for Jay Rich handling the ball at PG. So we'll see how it goes with that. I do think Josh Richardson is going to get some point guard reps. I'm not going to lie. I don't think Kyle Lowry is going to come off the bench. I think he's going to start with Kevin Love. So I think they're going to start off with that lineup. But again, not sure how that's going to work. I'm pretty opposed to both him and Love starting just because of the age, and, you know, they're not the most versatile or athletic, and they just don't, you know, we just need athleticism in your starting lineup. We don't really have that apart from Bam. And then Jimmy likes to save his body for the playoffs. So rim pressure is lacking with that lineup as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot is going to rely on the three-point shot with this lineup if Lowry and Love start. They both have to knock down their threes. Off the bench, you still have Richardson, Robinson, Jovic, Kane, Highsmith, Jaquez, Bryant. A lot of options there. I think our bench is deeper than it was last season, contrary to a lot of NBA fans' beliefs. I think we do have a deeper bench. But yeah, this is basically the final roster, man. You know, this is what we have until the trade deadline at least, and we'll see what happens then. Goals for every player. This is something I wanted to do as well. I did this for every player on the roster. Some of these were grouped. You know, some guys had the same goals. Jimmy was just stay healthy and be ready come playoffs. We know what Jimmy's about, man. I just need him to be ready and have a full tank when the playoffs arrive, because that's when he plays his best basketball. Bam is aggressiveness basically, but just shoot more mid-range jump shots and possibly threes. Again, I'm not sure if he's going to take threes, but especially mid-range shots. I just think he needs to shoot a lot of them because they're going to be given to him. Just need him to be aggressive. Hero, I just need Hero to be consistent, man. He's shown a lot of flashes and potential that he can be one of the best scorers in this league, but it has to be consistent. It has to be consistency there, and you know he has averaged 20 over the last couple seasons. I do want him to kind of take an uptake to, you know, 23, 22, maybe even 24. I do have a hot take on Hero coming in the next slide that you guys will see, but I think Hero, you know, needs to solidify himself as that secondary scoring option to Jimmy. Bam, it's very hard for a big man to be like, unless you're like a uber talented big like Embiid or Jokic or somebody like that who can just score the ball flat out. Like, it's very hard for a center to be the secondary or primary scoring option on a championship team. I think Hero has to take that responsibility because he is a 3-level scorer, and he's probably the best 3-level scorer on this team. So he needs to be a consistent scorer. That is the number one goal that I'm seeing from him. Then we have a bunch of players. I could probably group even more of these, but I didn't want to group everybody in this same category of hit threes consistently. It's very fitting that most of the players, the most players who are grouped up are under the category of hit threes consistently, because we were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the regular season last year. In the playoffs, it, you know, was the complete opposite, and we were one of the best, which is, I think, a big reason why we got to the finals, apart from Jimmy Butler carrying us, was the three-point shooting. And Lowry, Love, Highsmith, Jovic, Kane. I think Lowry, Love is pretty self-explanatory, man. I just think, you know, with their age, they're not really going to do much besides just, you know, catch and shoot. Or Lowry, I guess, can do the one dribble pull-up and stuff, but especially Lowry just has to hit his shots, because if Lowry wants to be a serviceable player, we know the playmaking and stuff is there. You know, he's gonna play make, he's gonna set up teammates, but as a starting point guard on a championship contender, you have to be able to knock down threes. And you know, we need him to shoot the shots from three and mid-range, especially from Lowry. Well, Love, we need him to be that pick and pop threat. Sometimes in preseason, it just looked like Love was just doing nothing on offense. And, you know, he's not prime Kevin Love to get in the post anymore. Like, he has to be able to knock down his threes. Highsmith, he showed this in the preseason, him and Kane both. We need both of them to make their threes, man, because, you know, defensively they're elite. both him and Kane. And then Jovic, you know, I do want to see Jovic handle the ball, but in this offense, I just don't know if he's going to get the opportunity to when everyone's healthy. So if he wants to stay on the floor, I think he needs to be able to hit his threes, because defensively he's not there. So he needs to be able to hit his threes consistently, and he needs to be able to make sure that he can space the floor for our stars. So these 5, I think, are the most crucial at spacing the floor. Then we have a couple of players who are, you know, in the ball handling / rim pressure category for goals. Josh Richardson, Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez. We need rim pressure. We need guys who can get to the rim. We don't have enough of those players on this team. Bringing Josh Richardson back was very crucial to me, because when he was playing here before, he was a slasher. He wasn't a knockdown shooter. Occasionally he'd shoot the 3. He was a good mid-range shooter, but his main attribute was getting to the rim. And I want to see more of that. Same with Caleb. Caleb has shown in the playoffs that he can shoot the 3, but he is by nature somebody who wants to get to the rim because he's an athletic high flyer. Jaquez as well. I think Jaquez showed a lot of people that he can jump, and he's very sneaky athletic, and he can do a lot of things, you know, as far as athletically is concerned. Like, Jaquez is one of the best athletes on this team. So I do want to see all of them get to the rim. I do want to see these guys put pressure on the rim and handle the ball, especially ball handling as well, because we don't really have too many point guards on this roster. Jay Rich is already getting point guard reps, but I do want to see Martin and Jaquez handle the ball more. I know Jaquez can do it. I've seen him do it at UCLA. Same with Caleb. I know Caleb can do it as well. So yeah, they're going to be in the category of ball handling and rim pressure that I want to see from these guys. Swider and Duncan, I kind of have to group in the same category because they kind of essentially do the same thing for us. They just have to be better defensively. I think especially Swider. I think Duncan is showing effort. Duncan is just a little bit physically overmatched because he's not the biggest. He's not, you know, the strongest. He's not the quickest. Swider, there's times where he just doesn't even show effort. I think that's one of the reasons the Lakers got rid of him. He's an incredible shooter, but I just need him to improve his defense, both him and Duncan, so that they're not getting picked on defensively, because them two are probably the worst defenders on this roster. So I just need both of them to kind of make sure that they're at least showing improvement or effort defensively, just so that they're just not a cone out there. Thomas Bryant or Orlando Robinson just need to be serviceable whenever Bam is not on the floor. You know, we lacked that last season. You know, Dedmon wasn't the best, and then Cody Zeller was okay at times, but again, he wasn't the best either. Thomas Bryant looked good in preseason. Orlando Robinson looked good in summer league. I want to see both of them, you know, be, you know, an anchor, not anchor, but just be serviceable and not have this team take a drop off whenever Bam is not on the floor. Like, naturally they will drop a little bit because Bam is one of the best players in the NBA, and, you know, whenever he's not on the floor, like, his backup is obviously worse than him, but it shouldn't be that significant to where we're like the plus minus is crazy, or like, you know, it's just that we're getting outscored every possession. Like, it shouldn't be that bad where it was to last year. So just need them to be serviceable whenever Bam is not on the floor. And then Drew Smith and RJ Hampton, just want them to just develop as point guards who can run the offense, and, you know, because again, we just lack that. RJ Hampton, rim pressure as well. I know he can get to the rim. They just need to be serviceable, ready backup point guards if needed, because we're not too deep at that position. So yeah, those are the goals for every Heat player. And then we're on to our last slide, which is the biggest question plus the prediction for the 2023-2024 NBA season. So again, this is where I want you guys to get involved down in the comments, especially in the predictions part. Biggest question is who can be a consistent scorer besides Jimmy in the playoffs. I think the regular season, I don't really think is a big issue for the Heat. I think we'll manage to get in the playoffs somehow, some way. We'll be in the playoffs. We'll be in the mix of one of the top teams in the East. In the playoffs, it's about somebody supporting Jimmy, because we can't rely on role players bailing us out all the time. You know, last season, it was a lot of games where Gabe and Max and Duncan and Martin were just going off, and that's not going to be sustainable every single night. We're going to need that consistent scorer next to Jimmy. Bam, again, by nature, he's not like a natural scorer because he's a center. Like, he's not like a 3-level scorer or anything like that. I think he needs to be a guard, which is why if you see one of my predictions down below, my leading scorer for this team is Tyler Hero. I think he's motivated. I think he's mad. I think he's ready for this season. I think he's put in the work, and I think he's going to lead this team in scoring in the regular season. These are all regular season predictions. Again, I don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. Seeding, I have us at highest 3 seed. I think Milwaukee and Boston will take the 1 and 2 spots. On paper, they have the best rosters, probably in the NBA. And then floor, I would say 6. I don't really see us dropping to the play-in again, but you never know. I think this roster is a little bit better, but just looking at the teams in the East, like Philly, Cleveland, New York, and us, I think are like the next top 4, like in no order, obviously behind Milwaukee and Boston. I think those are the next 4 to be in that mix. And I do think when playoff time comes, we can beat any of those teams, including Boston and Milwaukee. But regular season wise, we're going to be in that mix of 3 to 6, in my opinion. Again, Tyler Hero leading scorer, man. I think Tyler Hero is going to have a big year. I think he's going to be motivated to prove a lot of people wrong. And he's going to try to do everything he can to just make sure that he's the best player that he can be. And I think he's going to lead this team in scoring, especially in the regular season. Jimmy doesn't take the regular season that seriously. Bam, I think he's going to, focus on the defensive end more. So I think Tyler is going to be that scorer that we really, really need, and that he can be. Best performing rookie, Jaime Jaquez. We don't really have too many rookies on this roster. I don't even think we have any rookies on this roster apart from Jaime. So he basically kind of got that prediction. But I think he's going to have a good year. I think Jaime is going to be a very impactful player because he's NBA ready. He can make impact from day one. And he can be a serviceable player, not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs as well. Breakout player, man. I could have gone a couple of different directions here. Haywood Highsmith is my pick. I hope he gets healthy soon. I have very high hopes for him this season. I'm buying stock into Haywood Highsmith. I feel like from what I've seen in preseason, he looks really good. His shot looks really good. Defensively, he's one of the best defenders on this team. And I am very excited for his season when he gets back healthy. X Factor, I'm going with Caleb Martin. He's always that type of guy who can just on any given night can drop 20 points. Like, you just never know. Him coming off the bench this season, I think he's gonna, he showed it last year in the playoffs, especially against Boston. He was going crazy. If he can knock down his threes and be a ball handler, and defensively he's already there. I think he is a very talented scorer, and I think at times can just, have one of those nights where he just goes off and a lot of things are just dropping for him. So he is an X factor to me. I think he is the X factor on this team. And then the trade candidate is Kyle Lowry, of course. I feel like, he's been in rumors. He's kind of the odd man out if you're talking about, fit, and if you're talking about talent. He just is an odd man out on this team. And I feel like, in the last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. Is this the last year of his contract? It probably is. Or he might have one more year. But no, he is. Yeah, this is the last year of his contract. He's an expiring deal. Yeah, this is the last year of his contract. If it's not going well, man, I could really, really see the Heat flipping him to a team who, wants an expiring deal, like a young team. I don't know. Somebody will be willing to take an expiring contract and a pick to give us to give us a very good player. So, yeah, he is my trade candidate for this season, and those are my predictions. This is my season preview for the Miami Heat. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Again, all the things that I told you about doing, all the reminders, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on post notifications, join the Discord, Q&A episode, comment down below the predictions, and let me know suggestions for the background music if you guys like it, if you guys don't like it, if you guys want me to change it. Let me know what's up with that. So we're going to wrap it up here, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this format. I was super excited for this video. I was waiting to drop this for a while now. But we're here, and the season is about to start. So, as always, let's go Heat. I'll see y'all later as always. Peace.